Hey everybody, Joost at Rhino Adventure Gear. Wanted to share with you guys a little bit of detail about the Goose Gear products. First and foremost, we've now got the entire Goose Gear catalog up on our rhinoadventuregear.com website. So if you're looking for anything Goose Gear related, we're gonna have it up on our website. You can use the search bar, or if you've been on the Goose Gear page itself, we've got part numbers, you can punch that in and you can find it. We love the Goose Gear products. I've been running it in my Land Cruiser, 09 Land Cruiser here for a couple years. It's been phenomenal. The craftsmanship, the fit finish, and just the well thought out design of their different modules just really works. I know a lot of people come to us and they say, I love the Goose Gear, it looks great, but I can do it myself. I know I couldn't. And I think once you kind of see these systems in person, you can kind of understand why it looks so simple. And I think it's one of those situations where it's so simple and it looks so simple, and that's part of why it's so good. For example, I've got the Jeep here in our shop, and we've obviously got this one fitted out with the full Goose Gear system. For starters, every Goose Gear system starts with a base plate. The base plate is exactly that. It's the base of every system. It's the foundation that everything gets built upon. And the way the base plates work is that, they're going to mount into your vehicle. In this case, it's going to mount into the bed of the truck. In the Land Cruiser, it's going to mount into factory mounting points that are already in the truck. If you flip a lot of these base plates over, it almost looks like a topographic map, right? You're going to see different heights, indentations, high points, low points, so that when you flip this base plate over and you put it into your vehicle, it's 100% flat. That's exactly one of those examples of like, it looks so simple, I'll just put a plate in here. When you kind of rip the seats out of your car and you look at the bottom of the contours of your car, it's really hard to get that kind of perfectly level. That's what Goose Gear has absolutely mastered. In the base plate, there's going to be pre-drilled holes that have T-nuts on the bottom of them. And that's what's used for their various different configurations to bolt on their modules. This is their kitchen module, has the fridge slide and the stove that comes out. That bolts into the base plate, right? Same with the drawer system that I have over here. You'll see that this is, secured to the base plate. Those are secured in with the pre-drill holes. Same with the storage unit in the back. Same with the what we've converted into the toilet setup in the back. All that goes into the base plate. So you have to start with a base plate. On the different cars, from there you can kind of see what you want to do. They have the stealth sleep systems, which basically is a base plate in the back and then a seat delete system in the front. Really kind of an awesome, simple solution if you're not interested in getting a tent and you just want a totally flat platform. They have that in the raised configuration as well, where perhaps you can get two drawers, either 50-50 or 1/3, 2/3 kind of width profiles. And that can either be just above the base plate, or that can be above the base plate and then through into the second row D-lee, right? Where then under where the second seats would be normally, you would have extra storage. You can have a full system like this. We'll look at Cody's 4Runner or my Land Cruiser in a minute, and we can show you those configurations. But you can really kind of dial in your system. What I've always liked about Goose Gear and the way that their configurations are is, look, at the end of the day, we're out camping. We want to be outside, or at least I want to be outside as much as I can. I want to have my fridge on a slide, and I want to have my stove accessible quickly. And that's what the Goose Gear system really does, right? A lot of people have asked also, why is the fridge covered? Why don't you just put it on a slide? You can do a slide, and a slide works really well. The problem with a slide, or the disadvantage of a slide, is when you go to load your whole car up, the day you leave, you've got it all figured out, it's perfect. You've got your tent here, and you've got your chairs here, and whatever, your beer there. As soon as you pull out that fridge, all that stuff's just gonna fall into that hole. And then you're gonna try and shove your fridge back in, and you're gonna have to crawl all the way in here and remove all that stuff. That's where these, fridge caves or these dedicated kind of spaces work really well. You'll see on my Land Cruiser, I've got what I call our pantry on top. That always stays there, right? So the configurations are just really well thought out for outdoor camping, storage, etc. Can't really beat just how smooth and solid these drawers are. All the latches come with locks, which is extra security, particularly for some of the folks that may be doing international travel, you can lock all this stuff up, lock your car up, and you've got an extra layer of security, which is really nice. I've been really impressed with the finish that's on top of either the top plates like these two or the base plates. They're incredibly rugged. Whether you're putting boxes, dirty gear, or whatever, I've always been worried, it's so nice, but it's gonna scratch. This stuff is really hardy, and it doesn't seem to, it takes the abuse really well, which has been really nice. In terms of colors, Goose Gear offers, two different colors. They have the gray and the black. You'll see the black on the 200 series we'll show you. That's just a personal preference. It's totally up to you. I will say the gray started to grow on us, partly because it offers some contrast. A lot of black in like something like this that's already black could be a little dark. The gray's a really nice solution for that. You'll see here we've used this as a nice mounting place for our Red Vision system, which is really nice. And you can get creative with potentially mounting different things on here as well. Another thing that's really fun about the Goose Gear products is, a lot of the extrusion has the track, and you can get different tie down points. This happens to be one for a strap. They also have a loop one. You can affix this into this track, and you can kind of come up with numerous different solutions to mount things, which is really nice. So that's always fun. You can also use, a lot of times, these corner plates. You could put like a loop mount in case you need to ratchet strap or can buckle something down.
What's up? How's it going? This is Chris from Rhino Adventure Gear in the Bay Area. I'm here talking about the Goose Gear setup I got in my Land Cruiser here. Just taking a look. This is a Land Cruiser 80 series, FCJ 80 at 93, and I've got the full build out Goose Gear that I've had for a couple of years now. So yeah, just talking about the setup, their gear, their product, and how I like it. So yeah, I've been traveling kind of overland style for 7 years or so. I've done a few different setups for packing, family of 4 that we have. Boxes to homemade drawers, and recently to this. The homemade drawers were cool. I thought those were like the best thing ever because I made them myself, and they did work. They did work good for carrying our stuff and fit with the box. But moving up to the Goose Gear setup has definitely just I've loved it. For the last couple years, which we cook out of the back here all the time, and yeah, we have no complaints. So just wanted to show you all that. With the details on this, most Goose Gear setups for vehicles are built specifically. Plates are built specific to mount inside the vehicle. So on mine here, 80 series Land Cruiser, I got the base plate system. So the base plate is basically that. It's a big bottom flat plate that mounts into like all the factory holes into the floor of the truck. So that's one big plate, mounts in nice and solid. It's got a whole bunch of points for attaching any of Goose Gear modules and all sorts of stuff. So the modules I went with is the Cam Kitchen 2.2 and the double drawer here. With the stove and the kitchen, you can pull out just the stove if you want to. I use this a lot of times just as a surface, making lunch or whatever. You can't pull out that by itself. So you pull out both the full extension. That this actually is plenty supported. We could, I know it may seem like it's not, but it works totally fine, fully extended. Again, the big point is ease of access, ease of use. So this is the double drawer, 24, 30, 22 high in the gray, facing with the top. Bottom drawer, the big drawer, carried a lot of stuff. Full extension, deep. This is about 12 inches deep. I carry all our food, cutting boards, all our pots and pans in this little guy. Yeah, we can load up on enough stuff for a week. So, big slide, works easy. wife can easily get this stuff too. It's nice and low. He's in brown. He's good. Top one, top drawer. Little extension again. You know, smaller drawer. This is really for just the essential stuff that we use all the time: drinks, utensils, coffee kit, spices. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of like little things that we use a lot. This is cool. I don't know if Goose Gear designed this, but probably, knowing them. The drawer can still, top drawer can still come out with the tailgate up, which is pretty rad. So you just need like something easy and quick. Just do that. So coming in on the side, this is my rear side window. I do have a fold-up panel. Just showing the profile of my setup with the 80. Again, what's really cool, Goose Gear's got track going all throughout. You can mount, you know, their tie-down hooks, anchors, all sorts of stuff. So we tie down everything up top. Just fully usable with their kit. Behind the second row, these are 30-inch depth setup. The double drawer in the camp kitchen, 30 inches deep. So I do have space behind the second row for I carry parts. You can do water tanks. I also have my electrical setup built on. They make a plate, auxiliary, you know, accessory plate to mount some of this stuff here. So pretty cool. I like this. You can also obviously do other setups, which is cool with Goose Gear. You can go all over. But yeah, 30 inches deep. I've got plenty of extra storage behind the second row. The full camp setup. You can obviously throw recovery gear, all sorts of gear in these drawers, but we use it specifically for camp and cooking, and it's great.
All right, guys, so here I want to show you guys another system. This is the 200 series Land Cruiser. Again, not to be a broken record, everything starts with that base plate, right? So we've got the base plate in here. You can barely see this one. It does obviously contour to the truck. And this one, the bottom of an LC200 does have some pretty good contours. So they've done a tremendous job of kind of creating that flat base system. And here, I've elected to go with just one single drawer system. I've got 3 kids, so I still sometimes have a lot of ancillary stuff that I bring. But I've got one huge drawer here. I added some separators up here myself to kind of help organize it. I've seen guys really do a good job of organizing their drawers, whether it's the camera folks, the chefs, etc. There's some really slick dividers that you can install that really makes it really nice. I've given up on that. 3 kids, you know, 22 seconds, the whole thing's a mess again. On top of the camp kitchen setup, I've got a 42-liter aluminum box. This one happens to be the Zargus box. An alu box would work up here as well. Another great example of why the enclosed fridge, the cave, if you will, makes so much sense. I can pull my fridge in and out here and yet have permanent storage up here, right? If I pull the fridge out, that box isn't gonna fall in its place, and I'll have to go in there and pull it all out. This is permanent. I've got the camp kitchen setup. Again, my favorite. I love this setup. It makes setting up camp super easy. Pull it out. My wife can start coffee in the morning, or I can start breakfast in the morning, or dinner, or whatever, and still be outside. A lot of times on the truck, we've got an awning that's coming around and giving us shade, which allows me to still be, again, outside and have everything here really quickly. This is an ARB 50 quart classic. The one that I've been running in my trailer has been on for 10 years straight. I am a big fan of that fridge among some of the other ones that we have, but this one is a nice fit in this particular setup. I am using some of Goose Gear's tie down points up here to help secure this down, which is really nice. You'll see I have a tie down point here. I did a Baja trip not too long ago, or maybe it is now, where I went with all my buddies and I actually ran this fridge and a CFX 75 dual zone. You can guess what went in the CFX 75 dual zone. This one had food, this had the other stuff. I was able to strap that down, right? I had a tie down point here and 2 up in the front. And I think, yeah, the other one here, and I strapped that down. It's really slick. You can use these points for tie downs. I have another one going here. I just keep all my maps here. I still love maps. I've got my California map. I've got my Baja surf map. This thing's about 20 years old, and it works great. Up here, I have mounted a Apple MagSafe unit, and super slick. I'm at camp. I usually try not to have my phone on me, but I also want it charging. I just stick it there. That actually hooks up into my stereo here that I have integrated into the Goose Gear side panel, along with some electrical outlets. Super convenient. You can charge your phone here if someone else has a phone or whatever, camera equipment, so on and so forth. And I can have Bluetooth connectivity into my phone, into these 2 speakers. Obviously that's not a factory Goose Gear thing. The fact that you have this plate here gives you some play in terms of creativity on what you want to mount here. You could do switches, you could do more electrical outlets, etc. This top plate sees a lot of action, whether it's additional storage, whether it's additional boxes, whether it's weekend warrior stuff with my kids' bikes or whatever. The top plate of this Goose Gear system, you can see is well used, but man, has it held up really well. Very impressed again with the coating they put on here. It's just really lived up to the abuse. So yeah, I mean, that gives you another example of a nice Goose Gear setup that really is a game changer in terms of us being able to get out and do it comfortably, do it efficiently, and stay organized over a long period of time. So I've had this in the truck for, I'll say 3 or 4 years now, and we're really putting it through the paces. It's awesome.